Hey guys, Sammy wants to hear the brand new time-lapse video, and in this time-lapse video I'll be doing another screen cap redraw, which is one of my favorite things to do on this channel for some reason. But what I'll do is if you haven't checked them out, I'll leave a link somewhere around the video. And basically what a screen cap redraw is you take a screen cap from a TV show, a movie, whatever, and you reinterpret it, redraw it as best you can. I think this is a really good exercise. It's helped me a lot, especially with movement and things like that, and composition. I'm starting to become a little bit more aware, like what I like and what draws me in. And yeah, it's just a really good exercise when you don't really know what to draw. And this particular screen cap is from an episode of Teen Titans Go, which, by the way, I love Teen Titans Go. I don't care what anyone says. I think that show is funny, and I liked the original Teen Titans, but I also like this one. I think it's cute and funny, and there's a lot of little references that I've noticed as I watch more episodes. But yeah, I think, if you're not opposed to the idea, you should check it out. Anyway, this particular episode I think is called 40%, 40%, 20%. And the episode is basically about Cyborg getting this song. And he has to listen to this song to get into the mood to be a superhero, which I can kind of relate to. I mean, not that I listen to music to get into the mood to become a superhero. I'm not a superhero. But I find that music helps motivate sometimes, and you see it, like, people have songs that they work out to. I have sometimes I listen to particular music to get me in the mood to draw a particular piece. So if I'm drawing an empowered female, I might listen to FKA Twigs or the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, or I don't know. I have particular music that I listen to for particular pieces. Anyway, so the song I think is called The Night Begins to Shine, and it's by this indie band that no one had heard of, and this episode made the song very popular. I didn't even realize it was a real song. I thought it was just for the episode, but when I was trying to find out what episode this song was in, I came across a wiki page, and I read a little bit and was like, oh, that's really interesting. So, yeah, and they also did, I don't know if it's in the same episode. I think this episode, there's a few episodes where the song is in, and then there's, an episode where, Fall Out Boy and CeeLo Green are in, and I was, nerding out because I like Fall Out Boy. Well, I liked Fall Out Boy. And, yeah, it's, because I was a bit of an emo kid as a teenager. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. But anyway, I'm not happy with how this piece, the end result of this piece, but, it was a good exercise, and I played around with different things that I don't normally do, like lighting sources, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, I guess, when it gets to the coloring. But what I really wanted to talk about in this video was, using fan art as my crutch, which is something I've been doing a lot lately. I try not to do a lot of fan art, and because I can't sell fan art, unless I'm going to, if I was working at a convention or something, I would probably do, a few, prints for that, but, I don't sell it. I've stopped selling it on, places like Society 6, except for One Piece and, Redbubble, just because I don't want to get into trouble. But I'm thinking of also taking my fan art piece off Society 6, because I'm thinking about closing that down, depending on how things go. But, yeah, I have relied on fan art as a crutch, and these screen cap redraws are really great, but, and they've helped me out a lot. I feel like with my, Nessa piece, which I did last week, again, I'll link somewhere around the video. It will be somewhere around the video if you want to check that out. It helped a lot. I was able to create some kind of movement with her hair and her skirt. I mean, it's not the best, but I'm really proud of how that piece turned out. And I think doing these exercises has helped. But at the same time, I feel like I've been relying on fan art, and I haven't been able to come up with my own original ideas and concepts, because I've relied so heavily on fan art, which, I mean, it helps. When I can't think of anything to draw, fan art is a great option. Like, I always have, like, this idea of characters that I want to draw. I have a ton of fan art ideas, like, in my head right now, as I speak. But, it's also, not restraining me, but, like, it's become a crutch. It's become something that I've relied on, and it's stopping me coming up with my own concepts. Like, every now and then I have, like, a burst of inspiration for original characters or original ideas, and then I get so carried away with it. Like, I get so stressed out because I can't turn out these characters or turn out these ideas, that I go back to my crutch, which is fan art. And it's really odd because I was so, for the longest time, didn't want to do fan art, and then I started, and it's been great. Fan art has kind of gotten me noticed on places like Instagram and DeviantArt. I did a Harley Quinn Poison Ivy redraw last year, and that's been reblogged so many times on, like, Tumblr, and it's gotten so many favorites on DeviantArt, and I was really shocked, but also very proud. Like, it's not my favorite piece. I think I could have done better, but it's nice to get a little bit of recognition. It's a little disheartening when I put so much thought and effort into my own original characters that it kind of gets ignored. Like, and it makes me want to go back to fan art, because I need followers. I want to start making money and making art my job, but it's really hard because everyone wants to see fan art, and I get the appeal. Like, if there's a show or a movie, and people can relate to those characters, or they like those characters, and I get it. It's just really hard for me to do fan art all the time, because I don't want to do fan art all the time. I want to come up with my own ideas and my own characters, and there will be more fan art on my channel. I'm not sure. There'll probably be more fan art in the coming weeks, because I have no idea what to draw. I do have some ideas, but whether I can commit to them is a different story. I kind of want to focus on working on my original characters that I started working on towards the end of last year, like Astrid and Misty, because I really don't have a finished look for Misty. Astrid is almost where I want her to be. I think she just needs a little bit of refining, so I might play around with them some more. I just don't know if people want to see that type of thing, so I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it on the subject of fan art. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I definitely have ideas of fan art, because, like I said, because I've been playing Overwatch, I really want to do some D.Va fan art. D.Va is like my favorite character, but I also would like to do some of the others. I've been playing as Sombra and Black Widow more recently than D.Va, and they've been fun. I'd love to do some maybe fan art of them as well. I also want to do some more Teen Titans fan art. I really like, I think it's pronounced Piccolo, on Instagram and DeviantArt. He does these really cool Teen Titans in like normal clothes, like 90s inspired attire, and I really like the aesthetic of them. So I'd love to do maybe a piece inspired by one of those designs. I'd also like to do some more designs based on the designs of the characters in this particular episode of Teen Titans. So really, today I did something really silly. I splurged and I brought a badge maker. So I want to do some badge designs, and I thought that would be really cool. So maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Yeah, so that's that, I guess. The coloring, as I mentioned before, I did a lot of different things. I really liked the color palette. Like the color palette in the original was leaning towards more the purple side, but so I took some of that inspiration, but I also referenced some other pictures from the same episode, and added the purple. So it was mostly a purple blue color palette. There's like pop of green, and pop of like reddy pink, and I really like the color palette. It's something I normally wouldn't do, but I like that neon 80s color palette for some reason. The purples and the pinks, the magentas, and I like the color palette. I'm not crazy about the end result of the coloring, and for some reason I don't know why. I mentioned this in my last video, but I've been having problems with the jagged edges. I cannot stand jagged edges in my digital art. Like, if I wanted jagged edges, I'd do pixel art. But I think I've come up with a solution to work around it. I think what I need to do is work section by section and do like a what's the word? I don't know what it is, but it's like where you combine the layers to one layer, but you still work in multiple layers. It's kind of like a mask, I want to say. Like, it masks them to the layer, and you can, instead of selecting everything, you work within inside the layer, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense, but I think that's what I might do in future. I'm also thinking that if I do badges, I'll probably try cell shading again, so and do wine art, because it's going to be easier. It's probably going to look a lot better from a distance, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. See what happens. It hasn't arrived yet. I only ordered it today. I got it for a really good price too, but they're only like 2.5 centimeters in size, which is kind of tiny, but I think it's a good start. I've been looking at products that I want to get. I want to get a sticker cutter, because I hate cutting by hand. I'm terrible at cutting by hand, so I definitely want to look into that, like an embosser or something. It's like a thing that you connect to your computer, and it like is like a laser cutter sort of thing, if that makes sense. But it is pretty early in the morning. It's like 10 minutes past 3, and I'm pretty tired. So yeah, in total this piece took between 7 and 8 hours, just I think because there was so many colors. I recycled a lot of the colors so it looked more unified. I think if I could fix anything, which I tried, but for some reason it wasn't working, the background. But yeah, you know, just little things. I think, like I said, I tried coloring it differently. I normally do pretty front-on lighting in terms of coloring, but I decided to have the light coming from the left hand side of the screen, and then the shadows are coming from the right hand side of the screen. So what I probably should have done is flipped where the shadow and the light hits him, so it didn't blend so much into the background, which is something that I picked up in art school using negative space. So if you have a shadow behind him, you should probably have a highlight on him, and I completely forgot that, like, when I was doing this, and I don't know why, or I think I remembered it, but I chose to ignore it, and that was stupid. So I think in future, if I do something like that, the side lighting, I will flip where the shadows hit him and the light hits him, because it'll make it more dynamic. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but Makes sense to me. I really liked how I did the circuits and that on his like I don't know what they're called, but on his robotic parts. I thought that was really cool, and I'm really happy with how the visor turned out. I think the visor on his helmet turned out pretty sick. I'm really proud of that part. But apart from that, I definitely think I need to work on stuff. Oh, and I really liked how his fur coat turned out. The wolf part of his costume worked out. I think overall, it's not a horrible piece, but it's not amazing. And I think what my problem was is I tried too hard to make it look like the original as well as incorporating my own style. So that is pretty much it from me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to stay up to date with videos, please subscribe and hit that little notification bell. I'd love to have you here for more videos if you like what you see. And yeah, links to social media will be down in the description below, as well as a link to my Redbubble store as well as my Society 6 store. I'm kind of debating on whether which shop I should use to sell art through, but yeah, I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll talk to you all very, very soon. I hope you're having a good week, and yeah, that is it from me. Bye.